This morning, lawmakers scrambling to get back to D.C. amid canceled flights and bad weather.
We're going to drive all the way through till we get to Washington, D.C.
House Republicans under pressure to pass the president's massive tax cut and spending bill. Overnight, Speaker of the House Mike Johnson saying a vote could happen Thursday at the latest.
Depending on the weather, delays and travel and all the rest, that's the wild card that we can't control.
The House set to take up the bill after a divided Senate nearly passed it. Vice President J.D. Vance casting the tie-breaking vote.
The bill as amended is passed.
3 Republican senators voting against it, including Rand Paul of Kentucky.
If you're someone who thinks the debt is a problem, I don't see how you could vote for this.
By one estimate, the bill would add at least $3.3 trillion to the debt over the next 10 years. The bill includes roughly $4 trillion in tax cuts, mostly for the wealthiest Americans, and fulfills some campaign promises like no taxes on tips and overtime. But it defies Trump's repeated pledge that he would not cut Medicaid. The nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office predicts some 11.8 million Americans could lose their health coverage over the next decade. Democrats ready to seize on those cuts for the midterm election.
The American people will not forget the betrayal that took place today.
Alaska Senator Lisa Murkowski delivering Republicans their deciding yes vote after negotiating an exception for some cuts to food stamps in her state.
Senator Paul said that your vote was a bailout for Alaska at the expense of the rest of the country. That's what Senator Paul said.
It was easy. Senator, we've got the...
I didn't say it, ma'am. I'm just asking for your response.
And after a long pause...
Do I like this bill? No. Because I try to take care of Alaska's interests. But I know that in many parts of the country, there are Americans that are not going to be advantaged by this bill. I don't like it.
Over in the House, several Republicans already signaling they won't support it.
This is not going to sail through the House.
The president threatening them to get with it.
What's your message to the Republicans that are not yet on board?
I think it would be very wise for them to get on board. I really do. If they don't do it, look, they'll suffer the consequences.
So later this morning, the House does come into session. They will debate this bill before taking a procedural test vote. If that then passes, that cues more debate before getting to final passage. But again, they have to get their party on board with this. The president now scrambling, pressuring Republicans to get this done by his July 4th deadline, though he did tell me he'd be open to moving that back by a few days if he has to, George.
And Rachel, on another front, the administration announcing that it's pausing about $7 billion in after school and other education funding, but it's unclear why. It's also unclear whether it's legal.
Exactly, George. No clear answer on why this is happening. This is according to a memo that we received from the Department of Education saying that they are now pausing more than $6 billion in educational funds that have already been approved and allocated by Congress to help pay for after-school programs, summer programs, teacher training, English language programs as well. Typically, school budgets are approved in May or June. That money is then allocated in July. So Democrats are now warning this could have some dire consequences, meaning that programs could be cut, teachers could be laid off. Again, the administration not giving any reason here, just saying that these funds are now under review and no timeline on when they could be released, George.
So like I said, it might be coming through really soon because it's going back to the House and might get passed on. You might see it into effect very soon. So go ahead, Rodney, man. What's your take?
Now, a lot of people are just having questions when it comes to the aspect of this beautiful bill. While certain people are fighting against it, like Elon Musk and other Republicans in the House saying no to this bill. Now, one of the bills they do have, you guys can check it out, is the White House.gov. They got an article on stating all the myth and also the truth. One of the things they are saying when it comes to the aspect of the veterans, people that have been hurt, also dealing with disability, would this bill help them or hurt them? And actually, they say this bill is supposed to strengthen the Medicaid for the Americans with dealing with disability. And then out of that, they're rest assured that people that are dealing with disability will continue to receive Medicaid and with no losses or changes to their coverage. So that's one good news. So people that are dealing with disability, that's one thing they don't need to worry about. Now, when it comes to the aspect of the EBT, the SNAP program, the only thing that this bill is going to do is if the people are not working, they won't be able to get no form of assistance when it comes to the aspect of food stamp. So they got to be working at least minimum hour, like 20 hours per week they have to work to get the food stamps. So I would say there's some good aspect to the bill, but a lot of Republicans are still fighting against it because they think it's going to cripple the economy. But I think it's actually going to strengthen it. Go right ahead, Hakeem, your thoughts on it.
I want to say people asked for this.
Yes.
I think they voted for this. The 333 Americans who did it, the Cubans down in Miami. This is what we need to happen to wake a lot of people up. And a lot of people don't look at it. Now, Trump is doing a financial tactic that he's been doing for a long. Raise up the debt, inflated so much. And mind you, he's giving taxes. It's a financial tactic I'm trying to, because I heard it somewhere talked. And we're just going to see what happens. I do think now, when things get dire, it makes you want to think a little bit more. What are you going to do? Are you going to be able to take care of your kids? Are you going to be able to work hard, restructure, re-strategize, adapt? The government is not always going to take care of you. And you know what I'm trying to say? I understand a lot of people are going to suffer to this, but then there's a lot of people going to say, hey, you want to know something? I see this and let's do something different.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's just going to show if it goes pulled through. It's just going to be a big shift when it comes to people that lives in low economic levels, and it also shows that people who take assistance and use it, not just an assistance, but use it for years and years and years because it gets given to you. For those people, you just got to go out there and find a job again, because when I think about EBT, the other federal assistance that's given out to the Americans and everything, it is used to help you get back what you need to be, and that's what it should. But as we see, a lot of people are overusing it and everything. We've seen that with this bill, it's going to cut a lot of people off, which I do feel kind of saddened for. But the thing is, it's like it should shift you. It's like, okay, this I can't rely on the federal assistance anymore. I got to be in the world and do what I need to do. You still have states that still offer stuff as well. It'll be out there, but you want big. You just won't rely on the federal people that live at low economic levels. You will not rely on federal assistance. If this bill gets passed and everything. So me, as me, my family, we're like I said, it doesn't affect us because we work, we never get assistance or anything like that. So I just hope that for American people, it just put the shift. It's like, hey, I can't rely on nobody but myself, because the federal stuff, the federal assistance is being taken away. So I need to get back to work. Do I need to do? If I got kids, I got to work 2 or 3 jobs. And if the assistance I can't get from the state, I just, try to get what I need from the state. That's pretty much it on that.